I would like to greet the new president of PhilToa, Mr. Arjun Shroff. Let's give him a round of applause, please. And of course, our immediate past president and trustee, Ma'am Fe Abling Yu. The distinguished Board of Trustees and officers of PhilToa kindly stand to be recognized and applauded with equal vigor. I'm accompanied today by the Department of Tourism Central Office Director, Arlene Alipio. Our host, Makati Diamond Residences and Diamond Hotel Philippines, Cluster Director of Sales and Marketing, Ma'am Lilian Saison Popa, Philippine Ambassador for World Travel Association, Ma'am Garcia, our friends and partners from the various sectors of the very robust Philippine tourism industry, ang ako mga kaigsuunan gikan sa tanang dapit sa Pilipinas who are members of PhilToa, please give yourselves a very warm round of applause. I am extremely delighted to be in the company of the Philippine Tour Operators Association, PhilToa, which has been a strong and steadfast friend to the Department of Tourism and myself since the beginning of the Marcos administration. The challenge that we faced upon taking on the helm of the department was one that was gargantuan, considering the losses that had ensued because of the pandemic and the challenges that came with that. Not to mention the fact that the Philippines was one of the last economies in Southeast Asia to open up to tourism. And therefore, we did not waste any time. First, by conducting industry and nationwide and even global consultations through listening tours with our stakeholders to truly understand the needs of the industry, which is why we are very pleased and grateful that our president has approved the National Tourism Development Plan that identifies the objectives, the things that need to be done to propel the Philippines not only towards recovery, but most importantly, towards transformation. Addressing basic, prevailing, and persistent issues such as infrastructure, connectivity, digitalization, providing equal opportunities for promotion and development, and most importantly, being driven by the desire and the principle of shared tourism governance, recognizing that the success of the tourism industry, its recovery and transformation, is not the work of government alone, but rather the collective work of the entire industry, including and especially our private sector. Which is why I would like to begin my message today by expressing my profound gratitude. Daghan kaayong salamat. Maraming salamat po sa PhilToa because you have been there every step of the way as the Marcos administration has tried to ensure that you revitalize the industry and place the Philippines in a higher realm and sphere as a competitive tourism destination in the ASEAN and the world. The essential role of the Philippine Tour Operators Association cannot be overemphasized. And as Secretary of the Department of Tourism, I have seen this for myself. Because PhilToa, your members, your officers, your board of directors have always been there every step of the way and in each and every single one of the new programs and innovations that we have tried to introduce to reinvigorate the industry. We are now a collective force with this shared tourism governance that propels Philippine tourism, which is why our country experienced phenomenal recovery in 2022, continuing on to 2023, having received over 5.45 million international visitors, bringing into the country international visitor receipts pegged at over 482 billion pesos, exceeding our numbers in visitor receipts in 2019. Philtoa is very much part of this success, and so I am hopeful and optimistic that with our continued collaboration and convergence, of course in partnership with our other sectors in tourism, that we would be able to meet, if not exceed, our target of 7.7 million international arrivals for this year. You of all people can attest that tourism, including domestic tourism across our regions, has vastly transformed the lives of our fellow Filipinos, simply because of the millions of employment that tourism generates, with over 5.35 million Filipinos employed in the tourism industry in 2022. And we're going to get updates on those numbers by the middle of this year from the Philippine Statistics Authority. And also the livelihood that tourism creates across the direct and indirect employment generated by the industry and all of the stakeholders of tourism in communities across the Philippines. Our partnership underscores the importance of all of us continuing in this shared tourism governance anchored on the National Tourism Development Plan, so that we may be able to accomplish the vision of our President, Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr., for the Philippines to become Asia's next tourism powerhouse. The presence today of travel agency owners, tour operators, general managers, directors of sales and marketing from hotels and resorts, senior managers, high-ranking officials from the aviation sector, and other tourism stakeholders from all over the Philippines underscores the collaborative spirit that defines the Philippine tourism industry. Together, we are the architects of unforgettable Philippine experiences for travelers from around the world and around the country, crafting extraordinary tourism packages that will leave indelible memories for all of our visitors. Reflecting of in the past year, we have made significant strides in enhancing accessibility to our beautiful destinations. At the very start of the Marcos administration, we made the effort to present our wish list of improvements to the Department of Transportation pertaining to land, air, and sea travel. That includes the flights that we wanted to be reinstated and added, the airports that we wanted to be improved and constructed, and even the seaports that we wished to see improvements on, as well as areas in the Philippines where we felt that more accessibility is needed in terms of air and sea travel. And we are grateful to the Department of Transportation for responding to this request. We have been very happy receiving the news that the privatization of the NAIA airports is soon underway, even as prior to this privatization, the DOT, in collaboration with the DOTR and our attached agency, TIEZA, had begun improvements in the interiors of NAIA Terminal 2 with locally made furniture and other amenities for our tourists to improve the entire customer and tourist experience. We are also seeing high demand for our other international gateways that include, of course, the host to Asia's best airport under the 5 million category, the Mactan Cebu International Airport, as well as its nearby province of Bohol, the airport of which will also soon undergo privatization, and including Clark International Airport, which we foresee with the 8 million capacity of this airport would ensure greater accessibility to northern Luzon. And the effort of the Department of Tourism has been to negotiate with both the DOTR as well as the CAB and the CAAP, of which we are members, and our partners in the aviation industry here locally. Of course, we have Philippine Airlines, Cebu Pacific, AirAsia, and our international aviation partners. Because, frankly speaking, When I was at the ASEAN Tourism Ministers meeting in Laos, I made a quick comparison of the number of seats and number of flights between the Philippines and its direct competitors in Southeast Asia. From our rough computation, we ranked at number 6, which is a direct correlation of our numbers in terms of international arrivals. Therefore, the need for more direct flights and other such types of accessibility into the Philippines is of absolute and utmost importance, because we do not enjoy the inherent advantage of our neighbors of being landlocked with the other ASEAN nations. Unless you take a cruise to the Philippines, you have to fly. So that is the push of the Department of Tourism under this administration. And we are very grateful to our partners in the aviation sector because they have been very responsive to these requests. Of course, Philippine Airlines has announced new routes domestically and is adding more flights to our tourist destinations in time to come. We're very pleased with Cebu Pacific's efforts towards ensuring that more Filipinos are able to fly with their reasonable prices. And United Airlines has become a very high demand flight from the US to Manila. And in my meeting with United Airlines executives in San Francisco during the presidential visit during APEC, my request was to add more United Airlines flights, not only to Manila, but also to Cebu, and possibly other international gateways to the country. Not to pressure you or anything. In addition to that, we're pleased with the announcement of Turkish Airlines of more flights to Manila, as well as flying five times now to Cebu. The announcement of Emirates of more slots having been given to them for more flights to Manila and maintaining their Cebu and Clark routes, as well as our other aviation partners, including Qatar Airways. Speaking of enhancing accessibility to our destinations, our dedication to showcasing the heart and soul of the Filipino that rests in the Philippine culture, heritage, and history has led to the launch of new programs for the country that herald the best of the Philippines in terms of what our communities have to offer apart from our already well-known and award-winning destinations. We have embraced technology and digitalization, recognizing that the democratization of travel is here. And therefore, it is incumbent upon us to embrace technology and digitalization. Recently, we launched the third leg of the Philippines Hop-on, Hop-off bus tours in Pasay and Parañaque, wherein we will be able to give our international and domestic tourists a preview into the world-class entertainment offerings of these two LGUs. And in the second quarter of this year, we look forward to launching our layover tours for transit passengers. Imagine being able to give opportunities for our transiting passengers to get to know the Philippines in the few hours that they are here. This spells more opportunities, of course, for our travel agencies and tour operators to be able to expand their reach as far as their markets are concerned. In addition to this, we are also well underway with our Philippine Experience, Heritage, Culture, and Arts Caravans, which, as you see earlier, has taken us to various places in the country, including the Davao region, Calabarzon, the Bicol region, as well as Western Visayas. In a few short days, I'll be visiting Zamboanga City and Zamboanga Sibugay, and will make my way as well to Sulu to push for the full opening up of tourism in Mindanao. I'll sleep in a number of years. In addition to that, we're very excited to launch our Philippine Experience Caravans in Region 9, 10, 1, 4, 13, and 12. These caravans will go on throughout the rest of the year. As we herald our culture and tradition, The promotion of our local cuisine is, of course, integral. The best way to a person's heart, of course, is through food. And so I think today's preview of the book Philippine Food Holidays is timely and must be celebrated. For this, I thank and congratulate the author, our Philippine Ambassador for World Travel Association, Chef Clang Garcia. Atong pakpakan, let's give her a round of applause for turning her passion for food into something that is a source of national pride for the Philippines and for Philippine tourism. This publication of our rich culinary legacy and heritage supports the Marcos administration's goal to invite travelers to explore the Philippines through its unique flavors and dishes. And in relation to that, and as a manifestation of my support for this wonderful initiative that pushes Philippine food to the forefront of global recognition and continued recognition in the Philippines, I would like to purchase 300 copies of the book to be distributed to each and every one of the attendees of the PhilToa General Assembly today. I hope you have enough copies. As of the moment, the Department of Tourism continues its proactive work to improve other sectors of the tourism industry that are in need of attention and intervention, in order that we may be able to ensure a seamless entry for our tourists as well as a most enjoyable journey overall. With this, we continue our collaborations with the DPWH, with government funding in the General Appropriations Act devoted to the construction of continuing and new tourism road infrastructure projects for 2024, on top of the 158 kilometers of tourism roads that were constructed last year. In addition to that, we are heavily investing in tourism infrastructure in our local government units all over the country through the Tourism Champions Challenge. And in April, we are awarding the winning local government units that sent their tourism infrastructure proposals. We also have very exciting international events for the Philippines, for which we hope for the private sector's full participation, as this will continue to push for Philippine tourism globally. We have the Routes Asia 2024 at the end of this month in Langkawi, Malaysia, where aviation stakeholders would aim to develop network strategies for the future of air service development in Asia Pacific. In March, we will be participating in ITB Berlin, the world's largest travel and trade event, as well as the DRT show in Shanghai, China, considered the largest gathering for diving enthusiasts and marine conservationists. Speaking of diving, I'm very excited, being a diver myself, for the Philippine International Dive Expo, which will be launching this week, Friday, at the World Trade Center. This brings together diving enthusiasts, experts, and stakeholders from all over the world, as well as all over the Philippines, as we continue to push for our award-winning diving destinations, now being the world's leading country for diving, and expand opportunities for dive tourism to other emerging and lesser-known destinations. And in relation to that, I'm pleased to announce that through TEAZA, our attached agency, we are constructing several hyperbaric chambers across dive destinations in the country this year to ensure the safety of our divers. In April, we are participating in the Sea Trade Cruise Global in Miami, Florida, as we continue to ensure that we expand the cruise tourism portfolio of the country. And in May, there are at least 4 international tourism-related events to look forward to. There's the Thailand Sales Mission in Bangkok, the International Wellness Tourism Expo in Japan, the Indonesia Sales Mission in Jakarta, and the Riyadh Travel Fair in KSA, as well as the Arabian Travel Mart in the UAE. Locally, here in the Philippines, we are hosting the PATA International, Women in Travel in March in the beautiful province of Bohol. Further, in domestic promotions, we are, of course, celebrating the anniversary of the Philippine Motorcycle Tourism, the Philippine MICE Conference in Clark, Pampanga, the Philippine Travel Exchange in September, regional travel fairs in General Santos, Rojas City, in Capiz, and hosting in October of this year the International Health and Wellness Congress in order to be able to push further the Philippines' portfolio in medical and health and wellness tourism. However, I believe that the biggest and most exciting event for our country this year in terms of international global events is the Philippines hosting of the United Nations World Tourism Organization joint conference meetings in my home province of Cebu. This brings together tourism ministers from East Asia and the Pacific as well as South Asia, and of course brings to the forefront global attention for Philippine tourism. In conjunction with this, and I think Chef Clan may be very happy to know this, we're also hosting the UN Tourism Regional Gastronomy Summit, which aims to elevate global attention and regional attention for Filipino food, which is truly having a moment all over the world. And therefore, this will be an opportune time to continue our collaboration, to put our best foot forward for the Philippines, and to show the world that in the Philippines, you will never run out of reasons to love the Philippines. Thank you once again for your collaboration and convergence. Congratulations to the new officials of PhilToa. Daghang salamat kaninyong tanan, and love the Philippines.